Scaling an agency is hard. I remember the days of working from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. every single day, losing my health and losing my girlfriend even at one point. But there is an easier way. I scaled my agency to over $200,000 a month in less than 2 years, but I didn't just get lucky with mine. There was actual tactics that allowed me to do it and also teach dozens of agencies how to do the same thing. That's why in this video, we're gonna go through some steps that allowed me to grow, build our agency, and delegate everything so that you can literally just copy and paste what I'm about to go through. The first key point is the importance of a productized offer. What we want it to check is we want it to be productized, we want it to be scalable, we want it to be repeatable, and we want it to be profitable. Even if you are an agency doing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month, we actually work with an agency right now doing $80,000 a month. The problem of him being in a plateau state and why he's going to be in a plateau state is because his offer is not productized, scalable, repeatable, and profitable. And he's in the business 40 plus hours per week, and it's going to be really hard for him to do it. Same thing applied for me. When I was first starting my agency, I was the guy who would say yes to everything. And the problem was I became the bottleneck. Really, the foundation of scaling our agency to over $200,000 a month was foundationally set on having a productized offer. And I'm gonna go really in depth on the offer because this is arguably the most important part of your business. And if you can nail this, you will be able to also scale. You'll be able to also get stuff off of your plate. The first thing that we want to do is we want to figure out the who. Who is our ideal customer? This could be a B2B business doing more than $1 million a year. This could be an online coach doing more than $50,000 a month. This could be a plumber with one location. This could be a real estate agent doing more than $500,000 a year in gross commission income. Like whatever that ideal customer is, and we need to be specific on who it is that we're actually speaking to. Then what we want to figure out is we want to figure out the pain. So what is the pain that our clients are facing? Is it lack of leads? It's a lack of awareness. I would say one thing on the pain is we need to figure out what is like a financial pain that 99% of all business owners suffer with. The next thing is what are the desired outcomes of our customers? So these are the three real points that we need to know foundationally if we do want to set ourselves up for a $200,000 per month agency. What I would be doing at this phase as I'm watching me teach this is I would start to think to myself, who do I have experience with? Where is there a specific type of customer with a large gap in the market, with a problem that I can solve or use my savviness to figure out how to solve? For this example, let's just use door-to-door sales recruiters. What are they struggling with? They're struggling to recruit new talent on demand, struggling to get new recruits, struggling to have more conversations at scale, and become more known as a thought leader. So this is a real life example. Their outcomes are the opposite of the pains. And all we have to do is figure out, okay, how do I get them from where they are to where they want to go? And that is what we need to solve for. What is the gap that we've identified with that specific customer that is painful, that is wide, that is financially driven? And we as agencies need to solve for that. We need to figure out how we can actually get our clients leads and make them more money on easy mode. Going viral is not a good offer. I'm sorry. If you are promising your clients that you're going to go viral or you're just going to create videos for them and they're going to get business, you are going to churn clients like nobody's business. We need our offer to be focused on getting our clients a result. And we need to identify who is the customer, what is the pain, and what is the outcome. We have the authority in the conversation to then dictate what the client actually needs because we're already aware of the pain points that they have and we've developed the solution that they absolutely need. This is so paramount and I cannot echo this point enough. We have to be results driven for our customers, not just order takers. Because at the end of the day, when you have a conversation with a client and they bring up those three letters, ROI, you are going to tense up and you're going to say, I have no freaking clue. So all we have to do is we need to figure out what is the gap and what are the steps that we need to take as an agency to get our clients from where they are to where they want to go. And this becomes the steps to desired outcome. And the purpose of this is to increase the perceived likelihood to the client that they're going to get the results by working with you. The purpose of this is to productize your offer so that you can determine, how do I make my product so freaking good that people are going to be coming to me and people are going to be wanting to work with me. They're going to stay with me for 6 months, for 1 year, for 2 years. It's this. What does this look like? With our identified customer, what the pain points of trying to recruit new people and trying to get them new clients. Let's break that down. Basically how this could work is onboarding call. We're gonna creative call. We're going to do ad creative. We're going to launch the ads. Then we're going to do a content day. And then we're gonna edit the content. And then we're going to post the content. And then we're going to do analytics and set up a client portal for them. So many people that I see in the agency space, especially content, social media, they'll literally just do maybe an onboarding call, maybe a creative call, and they're just like editing, maybe post, and they're not doing the full picture of what's actually going to get the client's results. So when we're focusing on product, we need to ask ourselves, am I doing everything that I can possibly be doing to serve this client really well? Because we need to be good stewards of our clients' finances. And if we're not providing an ROI, it's going to be a downhill spiral for you and your agency. Then when I look at this, I say, cool, we're gonna do ad creative. If you don't know how to do ads, figure it out. I have a lot of videos on this channel, or you can join a program like Agency U and we'll literally give you copy and paste solutions. Launch ads, how do I do that? Figure it out, learn on my YouTube channel, or join a program and we'll literally just teach you everything. Content day, maybe you're familiar with that. Perfect, edit, post, all that sort of stuff. You need to put yourself in your customer shoes and you need to think to yourself, what is everything that can almost guarantee that my clients are actually going to get results? It's going to be the full scope solution that's going to get them the actual result that they need. And then over time, you can build on this, you can innovate, you can remove stuff, whatever it could be. But we, in the first point, need to make sure that our steps to outcome are going to increase the perceived likelihood to the client that they're actually going to get results. And for you, don't be selfish. Like, you're here to serve your clients. You're here to provide an outcome to your client. So once we have these steps, once we've processed this, once we've actually written this out, what we need to identify is we need to identify who can do each point for me. I'm not looking at this and saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to do everything. That's not how I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this from a perspective of who can I get to do everything for my agency? So what I can begin to think about is we could have this person be maybe like a strategist. We could have a videographer. We could have an editor. We could have a social media manager. Maybe the social media manager is in charge of both of these. We've been able to pretty much create our team. Our team consists of a strategist, a videographer, a editor, and a social media manager. And maybe also throw in there is like client success / PM. So not only have we developed a productized offer, we've now created this, we've now formatted our offer from the perspective of who's actually going to do stuff, so that then we can delegate this, because now we have this sort of team that can handle it. How do I make sure this offer is actually profitable? And when we do scale, I'm not just burning money. We price as if we're going to hire a team. If you have a team, if you currently have an offer, if you're scaling your offer right now and you don't know your numbers, you are in trouble, because you're never going to make informed decisions if you're unclear on your actual numbers of your offer. What do we need to do? We need to say, based off of the strategist role and responsibility, let's assume this is going to take 4 hours. And let's just say videography, content day, we're going to price this for 3 months. Let's just say this is going to take, let's just say 8 hours. Editing, let's just say we're going to do 12 videos a month, 12 times 4, I would say average price point is like $30 per video for the editors that we're getting, at least, and that we actually place with the agencies inside of Agency U. So that would be, yeah, let's just do 30. Social media manager, to post 36 times, let's just call that 36 hours as well. And then client success, about 2 hours a month, let's just call it 6 hours in total. Now we can see how much time we can expect each person to take as we're fulfilling this for 3 months. So let me just make that really clear. This would be a 3-month offer. If strategist is 6 hours per month, let's just say I can pay a strategist $50 an hour. Let's just say videographer, let's call it $40 an hour. These are just hypothetical prices, so just like chill out for a little bit. $30 a video, let's call this $15 an hour. And then let's just call this $15 per hour, because we can find these 3 people overseas. Now what we need to do is we need to multiply 6 times 50, and that gives us $300 COGS, which is called cost of goods sold. And if we do 8 times 40, that's going to give us $320 COGS for that specific role and responsibility. How much is going to actually cost me? That's going to cost me $1,080 COGS. If I do social media management, 36 times 15, 540 COGS. And then client success, 6 times 15 is going to be $90 COGS. So now what we're coming up with right here is we're coming up with our COGS, which stands for cost of good sold. Your cost, your product is your offer. So if we can understand how much it costs us to fulfill our offer, we're going to be set up for success to make sure that we're pricing for scale. So that makes our cost of goods sold a total of $2,330. And this would be for 3-month, like a 3-month commitment for this specific offer. It's going to cost you $2,330. So what we want to do with this number is we want to multiply this by 3, 4, etc., depending on the value of your offer, but minimum of 3 as like a floor cost. So if I do 2,330 times 3, that gives us a total of 6,990. So I'll just do like 7K. When I'm selling this, I can sell this for $6,990. And every time I sell this for 3 months, I would make $4,660 in profit. So what this is telling us, if I were to sell this offer, get my clients results, 3-month commitment, it would cost me $2,330. If I multiply this by 3 or 4, this is going to give me my retail cost of around $7,000. So if I sell this, we can now make $4,660 in profit. So if I sell 10 of these, you can make $46,000 in profit alone at $70,000 in revenue. So if you sell 10 in a quarter, $70,000 in a quarter. But what's most important is $46,000 in profit. And what's even more important is your pricing to delegate. So starting off, as you begin to scale, like you're probably going to handle a lot of this work and it's going to make you even more profitable. But foundationally, you are set up for success. You are set up to retain clients. You're set up to keep clients. You're set up to price for profit. You're set up to delegate. You're set up to hire a team, all that sort of stuff. So now our offer is productized, it's scalable, it's repeatable, and most importantly, it is profitable and you can hire a team to solve it. This is where so many people go wrong, and where I really want to echo my point of offer being the most important part of your actual model, because this is your product. Once we've determined this, we need to make sure that we are starting to sell the offer, but I'm going to skip to the point of we need to make sure that we are setting up our systems and processes. So if we know we're going to have a strategist, a videographer, an editor, and a social media manager, and a client success manager, what I'm going to start to do every time that I work with a client is I'm going to start to create SOPs. What I can identify here is, cool, we're going to have 5 people that we're going to be working with. So let's just also add in CSM in here. So we have 5 people on our team. And if you're just starting out, it's probably going to be just you. But what we need to do is, if we want to get stuff off our plate, we need to multiply ourselves. With the SOPs, our real goal is to start documenting processes. So what we do is we create what's called an SOP library. And inside of the SOP library, all we have to begin to do is map out how to for each step of our offer. In this case, it would be how to onboard a client, how to have a creative call, how to build ad creative, how to launch ads, how to do a content day, how to edit, how to post, how to build analytics. And all of a sudden, over time, what we begin to have is we begin to have how-to guides. I know if you're like a solo agency owner or you have 1 or 2 people on your team, it's going to be a lot for you to begin to build out your SOP library. But I'm telling you, the discipline of the 5 minutes that it's going to take to record a Loom video and to teach somebody how to edit a video, if you don't have an editor and you're trying to train an editor, to go through your workflow is going to save you hours on the back end of things. We just need to document everything. And what this is also going to do, it's going to keep you really honest, because to me, the best way to learn something is to teach it. And this is going to poke a lot of holes inside of your product, because it's going to bring light of what is the right way to onboard a client. I've been just kind of like guessing and throwing things out there. Do I need to automate stuff? This is where you begin to productize your offer even more and create SOPs so that you can hire people and get stuff off of your plate. But I'm telling you that the time that you'll invest into onboarding and creating these SOPs, on the other side of it is going to be freedom. It's going to be training. It's going to be multiplying yourself, because this is going to be the key of actually finding talent and making sure that they're in fact set up for success. So in addition to the SOP library, the other thing that we really need to also build out is systems. Systems run the business and people run the systems. What we also want to do, similar to the SOP library, is we need to have systems for every single piece of fulfillment. Onboarding system, like this can completely be automated. Creative call, like what's the template? Ad creative, what are these scripts, templates that you can create and house so that it can be efficient? Ad launch, is there like an ad launch checklist that they need to follow? Content day, is there like a 12 videos each niche needs? Like you come up with like a library of like all these videos that you can pull inspiration from, that you can just productize the content day. Editing, basically a project management system. Posting checklist plus project management. Analytics, what's the analytics template that we have? And we need to use a tool, like we'll use Notion, and we'll have all of these systems in place that pertain to our offer, so that when we do plug them in, they have a SOP library and they have systems that they're working, and being held accountable to inside of the whole system. Our job as a CEO, if we do want to hit $200,000 a month, is we need to be expectation setters. We need to constantly set expectations. We need to constantly provide tools. We need to constantly build systems. We need to constantly be figuring out how we can make our team's life easier and our team's life better. The most important client when you begin to scale to that $100,000, $150,000 per month, it's going to be your team. Because if you really want to multiply yourself, your job is to provide the best service, the best tools to your team, because the team is going to be a direct reflection on how well you've set them up for success. The next thing that I really want to hit on is coming up with a predictable way to actually get clients. Because one thing I see a lot is so many agencies want to scale to $100,000 per month, want to grow, but they're doing nothing as it pertains to sales, because what got them to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe is word of mouth, maybe is referrals, maybe is all that sort of stuff. They're maybe scared to spend money. They're scared to be salesy, and it can be really challenging, because what's going to happen is they're going to be bottlenecked, and they're going to be on this hamster wheel, and they're going to rely on it's going to be a cycles of feast and famine, and they're going to have no pipeline, and it's going to be unpredictable on how they actually get clients. It is paramount to come up with a predictable client acquisition strategy. One of the best ways that we've identified inside of Agency U and that what we run is running ads, running what we call the authority funnel for ourselves and also for our clients. That's part of the ad strategy. So what we're doing is we're basically coming up with 3 different ads that we are building. Ad number 1 is a simple follow ad. So follow me on Instagram. Again, if we're clear on who we're working with, if we're clear on our target avatar, and we can come up with a really clear message that speaks to our target avatar, guess who's going to follow us? It's going to be our target avatar. So in this case, we do something like, hey, if you're a door-to-door salesperson, you're struggling to get new recruits on demand, you're spending all this time going to these networking events, and you want to have more conversations at scale, go ahead and give me a follow here on Instagram and go through all my content where I show door-to-door salespeople just like you, how you can recruit talent on demand without having to go to a bunch of networking events, how to get new recruits on easy mode, how to have conversations at scale, and become known as the biggest thought leader inside of your industry. The other ads is going to be a DM ad. 2 styles of DM ads. These are going to be video ads and also a graphic as well. So DM ad number 1 is going to say something like, if you're a door-to-door sales recruiter, the easiest way to get new recruits on demand is to run an ad and to build your brand to become an authority inside of the space. And the easiest way to do that is to run an ad like this that attracts your ideal recruits and post content consistently to be seen as a thought leader. If you want to see how this all works, just DM me the word recruit and I'll send you over more information. So that's one example, similar variation with like a graphic, but that is the copy because we've been able to identify the gap. We want to be marketing the problems and the solutions that they want, and we need to let them know we have the mechanism that's going to get them to the outcome. And that's how you're going to get a lot of responses. One of the biggest skills that agency owners can learn, in my opinion, is going to be copywriting. So if you can dial in copywriting, you'll be highly successful. But if you have the right frameworks, that makes your copywriting easy. Inside of agency, we actually give a ton of frameworks and ChatGPT prompts and all that sort of stuff. But that's beside the point. What do you think is going to happen if we start running these ads? You're going to get followers. You're going to get DMs. And to be clear, these are all going to be through Instagram. To me, a follower is a modern day like email list of extreme value. I've seen so many people like, oh, email's my most valuable asset. They're like, no, an ideal follower for your ideal customer is a freaking gold mine because they're going to follow you. They're going to see all your content. They're spending a lot of time there. So not only are they going to see your content and start to be nurtured, but now they're in your database. So maybe they buy now or maybe they buy later. A DM ad, you're going to start to get a lot of DMs. And guess who's going to DM you? The person that you called out in your ad. Same thing. DMs. And what I love about this is it's going to your Instagram. It's going to Instagram because what we're trying to do is we're trying to accelerate trust. We are in the trust recession. People don't trust any of the ads that we see, which makes a lot of sense because most offers suck because of this. Your offer is dialed in. So this is scaling trust with your audience. They're starting to see you. You're nurturing them through content. Your content is really good. They're seeing you. They're seeing the DMs. You're selling the DMs. You're adding value on the IG because you're building your brand as well. This is accelerating the trust factor, which makes it easier for them to do business with you. And also, like, you're not having to follow up on email or call them all the time. You literally can just like DM them and like they're on Instagram clearly. And then what do we do next? we will set the appointment and we will set it up with a closer who will then close the deal. The appointment setter's job is to message everybody who follows and to message everybody who DMs us. So their job is to simply work through the DMs, the follows, and have a conversation with them to then set an appointment with the closer. And there's a system for that. Like that would be added to the systems as well. That'd be added to the SOPs as well. The framework for doing that. It is paramount that we train somebody how to do it. And it would also be added to just like cost per acquisition because they would be paid on it. But we already know that we have plenty of profit in our retail that we can afford to pay somebody overhead for acquisition costs. So the breakdown on this is, let's just say I spend $1,000 a month in ads. Let's just say our average cost per lead is $20 cost per lead. So that would be a total of 50 leads per month. And let's just say our lead to booking ratio is 20%. So that means for every 100 leads that we get, we'll book 20 calls. So if we do 50 leads per month, that would be a total of 10 calls booked. And let's just say your closing rate is 25%. So you'd close around 2 to 3 deals a month. So this would be the aim of what we could expect from something like this. And if we close 2 to 3 deals per month at $7,000 total, there's $14,000 in revenue. And then what begins to happen is we can see now, because we're predictably adding clients to our offer, we can begin to actually hire the people because we can feel confident in our ability to pay people because we know how to predictably get new clients. If you don't have this, your confidence level on actually scaling a team and building a team and creating systems for them is going to be significantly low. We need to bet on ourselves. We need to make sure we have the right frameworks for this. Like go through some of my YouTube videos or hit us up and book a call with us because we will literally copy and paste this inside of your business, which will make it literally bulletproof from a scaling perspective. And all we have to do for this example, like let's just add another zero, $20 cost per lead. That would give 500 leads. That would be 100 calls booked. That would be 20 to 30 deals a month. Obviously, like it changes as you scale. It depends on so many different factors, your offer, all that sort of stuff, your sales ability, whatever. But this is just like an example of the ratios that we could expect to get. This is how we begin to really start to build that operation that starts to move itself because the fulfillment team is dialed in with SOPs and systems, because the client acquisition strategy is working really well. All we need to put into place is upper management to be able to manage the fulfillment team, to manage the client acquisition, sales manager, marketing manager, an ops manager, a creative strategist, a creative director to make sure the fulfillment is improving. And that is the operation, that is the engine that really builds our business, because then the game becomes talent acquisition. It becomes finding the right people to fulfill, finding the right people to edit, finding the right people to post, finding the right people to do all that stuff, managing the capacity of the individuals based off of the hours and making sure that they're not overwhelmed, and continuing to hire and build pods essentially that can operate and fulfill this type of offer. And then here you just continue to innovate. Like you definitely need somebody from like a marketing perspective, but these are the pillars that you can actually implement to in fact scale. So these are the keys to actually becoming a CEO inside of your agency and not just being a glorified freelancer doing everything yourself, being bogged down, working in the business all the time. If you really want to scale and hit the $200,000 per month mark, you need to implement what I taught you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you want all of these systems that I talked about and the predictable client acquisition strategy, and want us to actually build these for you, you can click the link down below to learn more about how we can copy and paste these inside of your agency through Agency U, which is our consulting program for agencies. If not, feel free to subscribe to the channel and check out some other videos that we talk about the systems and we talk about client acquisition. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.